What would a computer the size of Earth be capable of? Could it solve the mysteries of physics? Or would it become conscious? The most powerful computer in the world today is the Frontier, built in 2022 at the Oak Ridge National Laboratory in the United States. With a peak performance of more than 1 quintillion operations per second, which, just to give you an idea, is a 1 followed by 18 zeros, or 1 billion times more operations per second than your computer can handle. The Frontier represents the result of decades of pursuit for increasingly powerful machines, capable of performing ever more complex tasks, faster than ever before. A pursuit that is far from over, by the way. The Frontier will be surpassed in the near future, and who knows, it might even have been surpassed by the time this video is released. Which leads to the question, what is the most powerful computer possible? Computers have two ways of becoming more powerful. Either the basic components get smaller or the computers get bigger. We are already reaching the limit of how small we can make the basic parts of a computer, so they have to get bigger. The Frontier itself occupies a space of more than 600 square meters, with over 175 kilometers of cable connecting nearly 9 million cores. Among more than 9,000 general processors and 37,000 graphics processors. Without any major breakthrough in the way we make computers, creating a much better computer than the Frontier means creating a much larger computer than the Frontier. A computer the size of a neighborhood, or maybe even a city, or who knows, a computer the size of a planet. Which leads to the question, what is the largest possible computer in the universe?
Hey, Pedro here. This video you are watching was originally in Portuguese, my native language. This is the attempt of our team to translate it to English, and I sincerely hope you enjoy it. Your feedback is extremely important to us. Now, back to the video.
And this question is not in vain. With a computer large enough, we could answer the most important questions in the world. Why have we never found a civilization beyond our own in the universe? What is the origin of life? Where do the socks that disappear during washing go? Get ready because this video goes deep. The key to understanding the maximum size of a computer is energy. Computers use energy, and performing many computations means consuming a lot of energy. Human computational power is related to the ability to produce energy. More energy means more technology. And this is one of the conclusions from the works of physicist Nikolai Kardashev. Kardashev created a way to classify an intelligent civilization based on its energy consumption. A Type 1 civilization would be able to use the entire energy potential of its home planet, while a Type 2 civilization would be able to use all the energy of a star like the Sun. And a Type 3 civilization would be able to use all the energy available in the galaxy, including planets, stars, neutron stars, and even black holes. Currently, humanity is not even Type 1. We do not use all the energy resources available on Earth. How large a computer can be will depend on how much energy is available for the computer to use. What energy does humanity produce? Currently, it would be possible to power 930,000 supercomputers like the Frontier. The maximum computational power of humanity today? Basically, it would be humanity giving up everything, including making food, agriculture, and everything else, and just using all its resources for computers. There's no point in having a computer the size of a planet without having the necessary energy to power something like that. So, what do you think could be the energy source for such a computer? The largest possible computer would be one powered by the largest accessible energy source, a star like the Sun. And for that, we need to collect energy from the Sun to use in a supercomputer. How can we do that? Currently, the best proposal for collecting energy from the Sun comes from physicist Freeman Dyson. His idea became known as the Dyson sphere. There are different proposals for how to create one of these spheres, but generally, the structure would basically be a gigantic solar panel collecting all the light the Sun emits and converting that light into energy. In fact, I have a video here on the channel where I explain all these ideas in detail and the pros and cons of each one. With a Dyson sphere, we would have an immense amount of energy at our disposal, including to power gigantic computers. So, the largest possible computer would be one that uses all this solar energy in the most efficient way possible. And this computer has a special name, Matrioshka brain. The name comes from the idea of physicist Robert J. Bradbury, who proposed a computer that closely resembled Russian dolls, or Matrioshka dolls, which are those dolls that fit inside one another. So let's understand properly how to make a Matrioshka brain. It all starts with a source of energy, a star like the Sun. The Sun produces energy through nuclear fusion that occurs in its core. And this energy escapes from our star through light, and light in different frequencies, ranging from visible light to infrared and ultraviolet light. That's why you need to wear sunscreen whenever you go outside. The exact amount of energy the sun emits of each type of light depends almost solely on its temperature. And this description of the energy emitted by light frequency has a special name in physics, blackbody radiation, which is precisely the radiation that results solely from the temperature of a body. By combining all the energy of every type of light the sun emits, it can be calculated that the sun emits 3.8 times 10 to the power of 26 watts of energy per second. All this energy will be collected by a Dyson sphere encompassing the sun, which will power a huge computer that is the first part of the Matrioshka brain. It is in the computational part of this shell that the sun's light will be used for computing and storing information in memory. But if even your laptop heats up while receiving trillions and trillions of times less energy, a mega computer receiving more than 20 trillion times the energy that humanity produces on Earth will heat up. And a lot. The laws of thermodynamics ensure that some of the energy the first layer of the brain receives will turn into heat and make the computer heat up. And even with an efficiency of 99.9999%, this computer will emit 10 quadrillion watts of energy in heat. That's 1,000,000 times more energy than humanity currently produces. All this remaining energy will heat up the computer, and hot things emit radiation, which is light, just like a bar of iron being melted glows. Or in other words, this first Dyson sphere will shine and emit enough energy to power 1 billion computers like the Frontier. It wouldn't be efficient to waste all that energy. And this is where the name Matrioshka starts to make sense. A second Dyson sphere can encompass the first sphere to use the energy that is being wasted. A second layer using the radiation emitted by the first layer. And in the same way, the energy can be used for computational processing, storage, or any component that needs energy to function. The second layer will also lose a fraction of its energy in the form of heat, and this energy can power a third Dyson sphere that encompasses the second. The process repeats until we reach a Dyson sphere with a temperature equivalent to the cosmic background radiation temperature, or the temperature of the universe, if you prefer to call it that, which is approximately minus 270 degrees Celsius. Any sphere warmer than that will emit radiation, which could be used to slightly power the next layer. According to Bradbury, this last Dyson sphere would have a radius equal to the orbit of Neptune, and communication between the layers could take hours or even days. But the time would be offset by an unprecedented computational power, with an order of magnitude of 10 to the power of 42 operations per second. The Frontier can only perform 10 to the power of 18 operations per second. The Matrioshka brain would be trillions of times more powerful than our current most powerful computer. A computer almost the size of the solar system, using all the energy of the sun. In Bradbury's original article, he discusses the possibility of computers the size of star clusters and even an entire galaxy. But the communication time between the components could take up to thousands or millions of years. And at this point, it's as if each layer functions as several interconnected computers rather than a single centralized computer. It would be a kind of Matrioshka internet, if you prefer to call it that. The difference is that you would be playing with a ping of 1,000,000 years. So a Matrioshka brain around a single star is the largest possible computer in the universe, using the maximum energy in the most efficient way possible. But now comes the question you're probably already asking. Could it run Minecraft with all the realism mods and shaders? Probably. But beyond that, what would be possible to do with such a computer? Interestingly, the answer is precisely to run a realistic version of Minecraft, and I'm serious. To be more precise, we can run a game so realistic that it ceases to be a game and becomes a perfect simulation. Basically, every cell or atom present on Earth could be simulated within such a computer. It might even be possible to simulate the entire universe with extreme detail. Imagine a 100% realistic game where you could visit a black hole from your home or see characters so realistic that their bodies function as perfect simulations of human body biology. Would it be possible to investigate all kinds of scientific questions with such detailed simulation capability? For example, with a simulation of a human body at the molecular level, we could test all kinds of medicines and medical treatments first in the simulation more quickly and practically than we can in the real world. And it is even possible to go further and simulate the universe with unprecedented precision. It would be possible to test all possible theoretical models for the universe by simulating them and comparing them with our observations of the universe. And with that, identify which of our numerous theories are the most accurate and efficient in describing the universe based on what we know about it. Which would give us unprecedented clues about which theories are worth investigating more deeply and could mean finding the path to all kinds of discoveries, from quantum physics to cosmology. What is the true behavior of dark energy? Why do the fundamental constants have the values they do? How can we combine gravity and quantum physics? This is not to mention the power of an artificial intelligence that would have an absurd number of neurons, far surpassing the capacity of a human being. The thinking power of this machine would be millions of times greater than the sum of the entire world population. So, simulating a human mind would be considerably simple for a machine that could recreate every atom that exists in a human being. The Matrioshka brain could recreate humanity cell by cell and create test scenarios such as, for example, diplomacy tests between countries or tests for solving the climate issue, or reproduce a historical period to investigate alternative lines of human history. The simulation would be so realistic that it would be difficult to differentiate the simulation from reality. So, wait, what if we are just a simulation of a Matrioshka brain? If a simulation would be so perfect as to simulate every cell or atom, who can guarantee that I am not a simulation of a pebble from an advanced civilization? What if we are just a test by this civilization that used versions of events that did not happen in their reality? This idea is known as the simulation hypothesis. If it is possible to create convincing simulations of consciousness, there is a chance that we are simulated. There are even proposed experiments to test if we live in a simulated reality. And if you want a video about it, leave a like on this video. However, the most interesting part of this idea is a possible solution to the Fermi paradox, which is the mystery of whether we are alone or not in the universe. Let's suppose that the advanced civilization simulating us only wants to test how a civilization similar to theirs evolves technologically. If our universe were a simulation just to answer this, there would be no reason to simulate another civilization within the computer. So, it would make sense for only us to exist. In fact, distant stars and the inaccessible parts of the universe would be simulated just enough to convince us that we exist in a vast universe. And this would justify why we never find life beyond Earth. The owners of the simulation simply don't simulate anyone else. We are alone because there is no need for another civilization in this simulation. We would be inside a simulation at this very moment. And if that's the case, the question of whether we are alone in the universe changes completely. Because we are not alone. There is someone outside our reality simulating us. So the question is, why are they simulating us? Perhaps our best answer is to just ask ourselves what humanity would simulate inside a Matrioshka brain. Based on the modern use of computers, simulations are part of video games, part of some scientific investigation or simulate characters for people to interact with, like those AIs that simulate the behavior of celebrities. So maybe my life is a way to train an artificial intelligence to behave like me in a world outside the simulation. Or maybe I'm part of a sim-style game about YouTubers. This is the most boring game that ever existed. Or who knows? We are part of an alternative history experiment in which humanity collapsed due to excessive global warming. Just saying. I know that this sounds completely crazy and even a bit sad on one hand. The idea of not being real is quite uncomfortable. The point is that the brain of Matryoshka is an idea that lets our imagination flow with infinite possibilities. Just as such a computer could answer almost any question, merely imagining a Matryoshka brain leads us to think about interesting questions that still exist in the future. Questions ranging from simulating a universe from scratch to investigating the deepest truths of our existence, or playing Minecraft with shaders depending on your priority. More than just a technology for a civilization with access to enormous amounts of energy, the greatest computer in the universe also gives hope to an incessantly curious humanity. We can certainly learn more about the universe. Is it just a matter of time until we build a Matryoshka brain? Or are we already inside one? What would you do if you had the most powerful computer in the universe just for yourself? Type here in the comments. Thank you very much and see you next time.